One was recording, yes. We are here today with David Parker, born in the great year of 1963. Can you tell me, let's start from the beginning. Yeah, okay, I've got a question. What is your rank,
I was a staff sergeant in the United States Army.
and where did you serve?
I served in Germany, Korea, stationed here in the United States, and I have 3 combat tours in Iraq.
What was your job / assignment?
I was field artillery, multiple launch rocket system, shot rockets and missiles.
I want to put that other thing on here since we're talking about this. And anytime you want to just talk, just go ahead.
Okay.
But you said about the accuracy of those?
We was accurate within 1 meter.
At what range?
Some for the rockets, it was upwards to 32 kilometers, and the missiles was right around 100 kilometers.
Jeez. 1 meter.
Within 1 meter.
Okay. This is they have a lot of high school kids do the interviews, and so some of the questions on here were written by high school kids. So okay, what was the food like?
The food, depending on what country, Germany, I thought was the best food.
Yeah.
Korea, probably the second best type of food you could have. Iraq, not the best. We had MREs, or meals ready to eat. We had, being a Muslim nation, no pork, so you had turkey bacon, which is not bad, but when you grow up on bacon, it was okay. I mean, we survived off the food.
Cholesterol level dropped, but
yes, yes,
that's about it. Did you have plenty of supplies?
yes. We had in Desert Storm, Desert Shield, we had roughly 5 gallons of water per week.
Is that for everything?
That was for personal hygiene. We had unlimited bottles of water. Ended up being about 3 cases of water per person for a week that we had. Stouffer's, lasagna, spaghetti, stuff like that. We stockpiled before we went into Iraq to eat, plus our MREs.
Well, this isn't on the thing, but did they use the housing was like big shipping containers? Because I've seen those over there, but I didn't know if they had what they have for housing.
In Iraq, during Desert Storms, Desert Shield, during the Desert Storm portion of it, is before we went into Iraq, we was living 4 or 5 feet in ground in what we call foxholes.
Right. Okay.
We lived there for 3 weeks in ground.
Wow.
And then,
that was right off the beginning, then.
yes.
So that was okay.
Then
it was hot.
We went into Iraq. We was up for 100 hours, and then we come back out, download all of our equipment, our ammunition, and then we went into what we called hard barracks or apartments.
Okay.
We was there for about 4 or 5 days until we was back with our units in our what we called our permanent stations. I went from Iraq to Germany, where my permanent station was.
My wife has a cousin, a young guy who's over there, and I'm not going to say anything, but he said the sand got in everything.
Everything.
Crater
that you have on your body. It took 2 months to get sand out of my ears.
God. Jeez. Okay, were there any entertainers that came to see your units?
We had, not the first time. The second time we had the traveling Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders come around to see us. That's when we went back into Kuwait and was getting ready to come back to the States.
Wow.
Toby Keith is always over there
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of USO shows that goes on every month.
Mhm.
And if you're in the right camp at the right time, you get to see one of them. If not, they try to bus you over to the actual camp where they're being held at, which is really good. You know, hometown shows, you know, free concerts.
Mhm.
You know, you may not like the group or whoever's performing. You go just to get a little morale boost.
Mhm. That's a good show.
Yes.
You don't like. Did you keep a personal diary?
Only in my head.
Excuse me?
In my head.
Do you recall any particularly humorous or unusual event? What's the weirdest thing you saw?
Chasing iguanas throughout the desert. These were like the ones you see in China, you know, the big table-long iguanas
Yeah. And where were they?
in Iraq.
I didn't know they had iguanas in
Yeah.
Iraq.
Well, we was actually in Kuwait,
Huh.
and they were chasing them. Some of them were 4 foot, 5 foot long. That could, if you hit them just right, could roll your vehicle.
Oh, geez.
And we were, before we were told not to endanger them, we was chasing them. We had sporting events. We'd take a camel spider that could jump 4 to 5 foot tall and put it against a scorpion
Mm.
to see which one had the most venom or was more venomous. We would catch little creatures like that and fight them. Entertainment. You're over there for 6 months. You're out for 4 days at a time. You come back and you unwind from the mission or whatever you're on. You got to have some type of entertainment.
Actually, that sounds like fun.
That's what we
Well, I'd
did.
be betting on that too.
Well,
I don't know if
we never betted. Something, if we did, it was something like, you know, going down to the PX truck, the post exchange, or like a little grocery store, you know, bet a 6-pack of soda.
Mm-hmm.
And it was not money per se.
Right.
It was something that we wanted that we could only get once a week. And that's what we did.
Cool. What career did you choose after your service time?
I'm still debating that career. I've been out 9 years now. I went to college.
Oh, that was one of the questions on here. What did you finish?
No, I got tired of college.
Yeah. It's easy to do.
I went 3.5 years, and like I think 8 credits towards my bachelor's degree. And I worked. I found a job that I just truly loved, and I got hurt, and now I'm unable to work.
Oh, I'm sorry. Although, what was the degree you were heading for?
Just general studies.
Uh-huh.
But going back to school at my age, it was, you know, whether or not I still had the smarts and the intelligence to do it. And I did. I maintained a 3.75, and I didn't ever think I'd ever be that smart.
Well, when you're young, it's like college is about the worst thing.
It is.
Because if you go, well, you know. How did you stay in touch with your family? Tell us about staying in touch with your family.
Once a week, we would get a 10-minute call back to the States. We used what we called a DSN line, which we could call anywhere in the world for free. We was allowed 10 minutes a week to call your family.
Not much.
That's if they were next to a military installation, which at that time my wife was, and I'd call Fort Bragg, North Carolina, and ask for an outside line, and I'd call her.
Oh,
Other than that, you had mail You write as many letters as you could. Free mail. You put UPS free on it, and that's one way the government would honor us, is give us free mail, because trying to carry postage stamps in a combat situation, you just couldn't do it. Germany, I'd call my dad once a week, or once a month, I'm sorry, and just talk to him. When I was in Korea, I was calling back to the States about every week. We had cell phones that called back and forth. And in them type of situations, you just have to decide what's more important, whether it be actually hearing their voice, or just writing them a letter letting them know that you're okay. And that was a major thing, I think, for your loved ones, letting them know that, a letter is more important than an actual phone conversation.
But nothing online, nothing like this from Iraq. I guess you couldn't do that because it was.
When I was there, no. Now they do have ways. Skype, I think, is the most major one that they use. But when I was there, email, and that was 5 months with no email.
Where are we? What time is it? Okay, good. That's fine. There's some questions I'm skipping over because it's, Tell us about a couple of your most memorable experiences.
Oh, my most memorable Germany would be going to the Swiss Alps, hearing about it, wanting to go see it, going to see the Disney Castle. The start of every Disney movie, they show that castle. That's actually Crazy Ludwig, King Ludwig. I've seen it. Something. Yeah. I've seen it 3 times.
Yeah.
Went up in it. Korea is just the shopping district, the computer district, the clothing district. They have different districts throughout Seoul, Korea, where you can get the latest electronics, the latest clothing.
In Korea.
In Kuwait, it was actually seeing all the carnage that the Iraqis done to the museums, to the restaurants, to what is now their history, and in part our history as well. But I would have to say just everything in them 3 countries that is enjoyable. I mean,
so you've literally seen the world.
Yes. World War I, World War II. I've walked in their footsteps, being in Germany, in downtown Nuremberg. I've seen Soldiers Field, where Hitler held his rallies at. My dad flew missions in to that field. I've seen where Hitler had his SS headquarters. I've seen they still have the 50 caliber bullet holes in the concrete in front of the barracks. And I'm not much on history, but I think that's pretty cool to see that stuff. That they're trying to keep hush hush. It's awesome to see.
Did you bring any photos that you wanted to share?
I wasn't for sure what was.
I just don't like some of the questions.
That's fine.
Here, if you come back. Give me a second here. You went back to school. You already told me about. Then GI Bill covered that.
No, I didn't use a GI Bill.
You didn't? Huh.
I used the veterans rehab because I was injured
Mm.
through the military. So I went back to school on a rehabilitation scholarship and had to maintain a certain grade. So I had to work extra hard to maintain that grade. I had, well, it's kind of the same thing as I guess the GI Bill. Also had the Illinois state scholarship, which I haven't used. 4 years of
I didn't know there
free
was a-
college.
I didn't know there was one from
Yeah.
Illinois.
No.
I thought it was all federal, but there's
No.
federal too.
There's federal and state.
So you can go to all the school, you can stand,
Yes,
which is what you did.
yes. Actually, I just got done in November using what is now my GI Bill,
Wow.
and I had another year left on it.
I know people that are going in just so, when they get out, they can,
Yes,
in the home loan, that home loan's pretty good.
yes. When I was going through the military or growing up through the ranks,
Mhm.
I said I'm never going to college. I don't want nothing to do with college. I'm not that smart. There's nothing college is going to teach me. I've done it. I've lived it.
Mhm.
I get out. I'm like, I'm going back to school. And college did learn,
Mhm.
or I did learn a lot from college.
The idea is that it doesn't teach you what to think, it teaches you how to think. Some people say that.
It is. I took, your basic reading, writing, arithmetic.
Mhm.
I was never good in English.
Hmm.
I took 4 English classes and maintained an A through all 4 classes. Math maintained a B, and I was up to geometry,
Mhm.
and I said, geometry doesn't help me in day-to-day activities. Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
To figure
Cool.
out the square footage of a room. That's
Yeah.
geometry.
That's true. Yeah, it's true.
And the job that I did after college, which it was a mechanical, industrial mechanics,
Mm.
we used that every day.
Yeah.
And I
What
was
do you do in industrial mechanics?
working power plants like CWLP.
Okay.
I worked over there for 3 years, off and on. Champagne at Kraft Foods, putting up windmills.
I
Uh,
mean, the
yes,
wow,
the wind turbines,
the big giant ones.
Yeah.
Wow. Those are
300
cool.
feet in the air.
So you were probably over in, is it Tazewell County?
Yeah.
Or, yeah. Okay. Well, they got all of them? Because I just went up to Pekin last weekend.
Oh no, that's Logan County.
Logan County. Okay.
No, we didn't work on those. We worked the ones up by Pontiac and Dwight,
Mm-hmm.
up by there. I forget what county that is.
Okay.
We was up there for 6 months, working 12, 16-hour days.
No, never mind. I want to ask about the windmills now, but that's not what we're here for. They all flash at the same time on the field at night.
That's
That's
so the
red light.
airplanes don't
So
run into
airplanes
them.
don't hit them. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you figure 300 feet in the air, something's going to run into it.
Jeez. How do they survive tornadoes? Okay, I'm just going to ask it.
I don't know. I have no idea. How does one house get hit and the one next to
Well-
it doesn't have any damage?
Fair enough. Okay, I'm sorry. We'll get back to the important stuff. Did you? This is gonna be obvious. Did you make any close friendships while you were in
Yes.
the service?
Yes.
Do you continue with those friendships?
Yes. Actually, we the last time I was in Germany was in 2006 through 2008. We have our first reunion with that unit coming up in August.
Oh, that was one of the questions on here too. Okay.
I've tried to get other reunions going, and a lot of people just don't have the time. Their work schedule is too much for them.
Mm.
But this one guy out of Florida got this one together. We were real tight unit. We've done a lot of things together, drank a lot of beer.
Got a really good beer.
Yes,
Real
very
beer.
good. They're having a week-long reunion. in August.
Wow.
And it's normally, most reunions that my dad goes to are normally 3 or 4 days.
Yeah,
And this one's a week.
it'll be fun.
I'm not going.
You're not going?
No, my daughter's getting married
Oh.
2 weeks later,
Oh,
and I have to choose whether to go to my daughter's marriage or going to a reunion.
well, you're going to that.
I'm going to my daughter's wedding.
How old's the kid?
She will be, she'll kill me, 26
Mm.
in December.
I got 2 girls, and yeah, you can't miss.
No, I'm not missing the wedding.
No. Okay, here, this is a big one. This might be a wrapper. No, not yet. Did your military experience influence your thinking about war or military in general? I said it was a big one.
Growing up, second generation military. My dad retired military. My sister was in the military, and I'm retired military. I think it's necessary at times to be in a conflict. Armed aggression against another country is not always a good thing, but it is necessary to combat a dictator who is trying to do genocide against his own people. That is a major thing. Fighting on one person's belief of what's going on, I can't see it. War is good, but war is bad. You have your good with your bad. The death of so many individuals that fight for this country is, of course, bad. But we can't have war without some type of casualty. And unfortunately, the many lives that we have lost, World War I, World War II, Korea, Vietnam, Desert Storm, Desert Shield, and Operation Iraqi Freedom, and Afghanistan, not to mention the countless other conflicts that we had, Grenada, Panama. It's an evil toss-up between the two, I think, in my own personal opinion. We do have some great people that do awesome things for our country.
Do you think the government's doing enough for people that are coming back to help assimilate them into society? That's a loaded question.
I think they need to do more. They have the
Post-traumatic
stress
stress
disorder.
disorder.
I think they need to do more for them individuals, more for the ones who do come back missing a limb, cannot walk, or whatever the case is. They need to do more for them individuals, other than get them back on their feet, so to speak, and shove them off to the side. They need to do more. Actually, when they come back, they have 2 years of medical, and that's it. If you come back missing a leg, missing an arm, missing an eye, you should have free health care forever. Once you serve and you get injured, you should have that health care there.
You've earned it.
Except for that 2-year window that they did have. I don't know if they upgraded it since I retired, but they should have free health care.
I don't think they've upgraded that.
I know they said for me that I have it for my life because I am retired. I've done my 20 years.
Mhm.
But the ones that are coming back that are disconfigured, they need help forever.
I think you'd be hard pressed to find somebody to argue against that. I don't know why it doesn't happen.
It doesn't.
It needs to. Okay, sorry. Is there anything you would like to add? Just want to throw in there for
Anything?
posterity.
Just support our veterans.
Well said. Thank you. Sorry, David.
Thank you.
Very nice to meet you.
Nice meeting you.
And we're out.